Okay, so today I'm going to share some amazing tips from our NLC group with you guys about Instagram stories and creating FOMO. So I have notes, so I don't get crazy, and because it was really good. So before you put anything on your stories or on your page, it's a good idea to start, hang on. It's always a good idea to start with a couple questions. I really hope that I'm actually in the right group. But anyways, we're just going to keep going. Okay, so there should be a designated focus or reason for whatever you're putting out there, right? We're not just posting to post. Asking yourself, how is this going to help me build my business? How is this going to produce me income? How is this going to move my business forward? How do I see this happening? And how do I want this to roll out with my content, right? When you start getting more focused and intentional with your content, people start coming to you more. And it also flows well with whatever you're inviting to and whatever you're running at the time. And, she talks about it in this video, which you don't get in posting my notes. I call this the creepy white van thing. Whatever, we're there now. You can send out 100 invites a day. You can send out 500 invites a day, but if you're not talking about the things on your page that you're inviting to, no one's going to join you because you're that creepy white van with no windows driving through the neighborhood. Come take a look at all this awesomeness I have in the van, right? Creepy. So you need to make sure that you open your windows, and your windows are your social media. So you have to make sure that you're talking about the things openly on social media that you're inviting to. And I really like the Make Chic Happen planner for social media content. So great tip there. All right. So the biggest tip here, the thing that I really like, is she's talking about being more transparent about what you're really doing. Instead of just saying, what's really happening in your groups, in the coaching, and getting people results. So going behind all of that, and a couple examples was, so let's say that, especially if you are working full-time or part-time, or if you're working this business full-time, part-time, whatever it is, you still need to show people how that works, how that happens. How are you doing it, right? So let's say that you're a nurse and you're working 12-hour shifts right now. So you could play this two ways, right? Both ways you're talking about the business, both ways you're showing up on social media is that you pull into the parking lot and you're on your stories, hey, just about to do, 5-10 minutes of work before I clock in for my 12-hour shift. Stories are blank for 12 hours, and then you see her again at home, hey, just got home from work, I'm about to work my business, and then head to bed. Nothing about that really sounds tempting. Oh, yeah, sure. Let me, work in my car before I have to go work 12 hours serving other people in the middle of a fucking pandemic. And then when I get home, yeah, the last thing I want to do is do more work, right? So you even have to be careful about the way that you're talking about the opportunity in your stories. And so a better example of that would be, okay, I'm about to go in there. It's a madhouse. It's crazy. I got my workout in this morning. That's so helpful for my anxiety. Now I'm about to check in with my girls who are crushing it because they give me life. And I need that right now. I need to know that that's what we're fighting for and that's what we're protecting. And so I will see you guys again in 12 hours. And then at 12 hours, they come home and they're like, made it home, sanitized, clean, whatever. And I am putting together some content that, just came to me and I'm checking and I'm sending out welcome emails for the girls who joined me on my lunch break. Whatever it is, right? You're being specific and you're talking about it and you're also enthusiastic about it. So stop saying you're working the business, or stop saying you're working, or you're working on your business or your side hustle, and get specific about the things that you're doing. Because also, the more you talk openly and specific about the things you're doing, like, oh yeah, I have 5 minutes here before I have to go into this appointment, I'm going to check in with my girls in my challenge groups and see how they're doing. Or, all right, so it's instead of just saying nap time, hustle, time to get some work done, and doing a boomerang of like all your stuff laying out, because what mom wants to do more stuff when they finally get a break? Like, let's be honest here. But it's like, okay, I get 2 hours to myself. I'm going to go hang out with my ladies. I'm going to go pour into my crowd. I'm going to go like, look at all these check-ins. So she talks about like taking a screenshot of your check-ins, but like highlight and blur, but just circle all the check-ins and be like, look, my girls are like crushing it this week, even with a pandemic. And let me go back to my notes here because I'm like going all over the place. So I talked about the fact that you can invite all the people that you want, but if you're not actually talking about the things, they're not going to join you. And the more specific you are, the less questions they have about joining you. So if you have to have really long conversations and like talk to people for a really long time before they decide to join you, you're probably not sharing enough. You're probably not talking enough about what you do because they don't know and they're not sure if it will work. So the two ways that we can combat that is, one, get in your groups and help people get results. Two, show how you're doing that. Show what you're doing. So your stories need to do gear for them to do one of two things. You want them to either educate, so provide value-driven content, or entertain. So this is like they're experiencing something with you, whether it be your kids, excuse me, or like, you know, you're opening up a package, or like a workout clip, like they're experiencing something with you, right? So, but, so you either want to educate or entertain. So the posts that are not educational should be entertaining. They shouldn't just be, okay, guys. And I'm not saying that I'm never like, because I am in my stories, I keep it real. But when I'm in front of the camera and talking to it, I'm like this. I'm like on fire, right? Because I want them to feel my energy. So if you just don't have it, do more of the pictures. Although I do think you need to be talking in your stories. They can educate, they can entertain, or they can inspire action. So do you want them, you show them a transformation and you want them to comment or join you or swipe or something like that, or you want them to do a workout of their own that day. So educate, entertain, or inspire action. Those are the main goals that your content should provide, should go to. So again, big on showing them versus telling them. So like specific, if you're going to work your business for 5 minutes, what are you going to do? Are you going to send out invites? Okay, so you're not going to say, all right, I'm about to send out my invites, because what the heck does that mean? That says to people that you're sending out a bunch of cold messages. So if you're sitting down to invite people and be like, all right, so I've got 5 minutes right now, and there are like, I publicly invite them on your stories. Try that one. My goodness. Be like, I've been chatting with like this chick. But just a little like, okay, so maybe after your invites, I just reached out to a few of my like favorite followers and asked them if they would help keep me accountable this month and if they wanted to join me. I've done that like with my cleanse, be like, all right, so ordered my cleanse, and I like one morning I had just a story, and it was like, okay, I reached out to a couple of my faithful followers and told them that I needed some accountability, and 5 of them ordered a cleanse and we're doing it together. And that's it, right? So like any of those things, I really like how a good tip on that will be coming later, because I'm going to go in order of my notes because I'm very scattered. how are you making it clear what you do and how you do it? So when you're working in your mom cracks of time, like April had that post, right? So she worked for 45 minutes on her stairs and an hour in the backseat of her car. Paint the picture of what it actually looks like, right? So are you checking in with challengers in between appointments at work? Are you sending out emails on your lunch break because it brings you joy? How are you fitting the business into your true cracks of time specifically, and share that? It doesn't need to be all that you share, but the more that you share about what you do, the more people are just going to be like, okay, I'm ready, because they know. So instead of saying I work part-time, show them how you work part-time and build this amazing business. Show them the business in the crazy life. So be like, yep, my kids are running around like crazy. I'm going to do some laundry, putting my AirPods in. I need a little personal development. I need a little me time. Like I need to bring myself back up, right? So whatever it is, like you're sharing that. Show people how you work your biz around your family. Also important. I even really like, I don't know where this was, but this was on a video that someone is setting, like now that everyone's at home and everyone's at home and people are trying to work and we work on our phones, and that can be confusing to kids. Have safe places in your house that when you're there, you're working and they can't interrupt you. They have to go to the other parent. But if you're in the safe, like the open zones of the house, they can come to you with questions. So like for her, it was her office or her bedroom. If they were in the office or the bedroom, they're not to be bothered. They're working. It's uninterrupted time. But if they're in the living room on their phone, the kid can come up and ask them questions or things like that. So good tips, right? And so for people working at home, like share things like that. Like we were, for some of us, we were already doing these things. And for some of you now it's new. Share the excitement and the realness. So if you have like things happening in your group, like go in and do a video share of you like scrolling through your group of like people like sharing their wins and things like that, and you're sharing in your stories about your challenge group and you're talking about it and you're talking about the coach groups that you're running. 5 minutes to check in and get excited. Yeah, so again, take 5 minutes to check in and get excited, not to just work your business. Small pockets of time, be specific, expand, and create FOMO around mom life, because mom life, like it's hard right now. So all of the joys that you're getting from the business, all of the joys that you're getting from this community and from these tools, make sure you're sharing them, and not in like a, hey, come join me, but like, hey, this is really helpful. I'm really glad that I have this right now. Or whatever it's doing for you, right? Like if I have a bad depression day, I'm like, I was really struggling this morning, reached out to 3 people, guess what? Boom, push play, I feel better. Because people need that so much, especially right now. Trust, like she's saying, like trust. So when you get specific about, okay, so I have 5 minutes right now, I'm going to do this. It can start to relate to people like, oh, I just spent 5 minutes playing Candy Crush and I didn't do anything productive. So it makes people start to think like, oh, I have all this time that I'm wasting. I could be doing that. And so when you get specific about how much time you're spending doing the little tasks that you're doing, it also helps them relate to how they could fit it into their day. 2-hour nap time hustle, bullet what you're actually going to do. Mom life in the morning time. So she has, just like our ongoing Zoom, the workout Zoom, they always have one going on in the morning, and she always makes sure that she takes a boomerang of that for content she's putting in her stories, and talking about how helpful that is. Still showing up in the chaos, even if it only, it takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And that's exactly what you're going to share about it. Showing coaches that you show up on the weekends, it just looks different. So this was for coaches who are working the business full time now. I feel like for most of us, we try to do the majority of our work during the week and then spend the weekends with our family. And the problem with that is that if you're not showing up in the weekends and you're not talking about the business in the weekends, and you're pulling these people in who are working and they're trying to work the business part-time, that's the majority of their time to work the business. So make sure that you're sharing a Zoom link in your group. Hey guys, I'm about to send out 30 invites. Anybody want to hop on with me, get some work done? Make sure that you're still talking about it, even if you're unplugging more, even if you're not doing the things, still make sure that you're showing up in the minimum, or give them the permission to hustle and work on the weekends, if that makes sense. All right, so specifically for fitness, here are some tips that she has for her stories. You guys liking this so far? Give me some like, give me some love if it's good. Hopefully I'm relaying the info as well as I received it. Okay, so fitness. She does a client sign-up list in her stories. I really like this. So it's just an image. It's however many people you have a goal to sign up that month. If it's 5 or 10, to fill your slots. And it's just whatever, like hers is like 2020 Sweat Station or something, like that's her group, right? So she has a sign up every month, but it's always in her stories, because anytime she sends out a sack to anyone, whether it's a challenge pack or anything, right? So she sends out a sack to anyone, she writes their name on it, and she writes in parentheses, pending, or in italics, pending. So she has a checklist in there of people who are joining her every month. So it's constantly in her stories because she's constantly updating. Or maybe she even just shares it every day. I'm not totally sure, but she said it's always in her stories. Then again, she said she was like SC 40 or 50. But if we're talking all sacks and not just challenge packs, like that's totally doable, because the first step is you write their name on there and then it's pending. And then when they purchase their kit or their sack, whatever you sent them, sack is share a cart for new coaches. And then she crosses out the pending, but over top of the pending, she writes confirmed, like a red confirmed stamp, right? So she puts the confirmed over the pending, and then she circles their name. So you could even do that, like the pending, and then like when somebody does it, like do it in 3 steps again the next day, like have the original and then do the pending with the sign, with the circle. And so after they've purchased, you circle a name, you write confirmed on there. So it's creating FOMO, which is great. And then it's also encouraging for you to make sure that you get your 5 or 10 slots filled. Like, I think she does add it to her stories every day, whatever the list looks like. So I like that. That was a cool way to create FOMO, but I also like that she didn't just put the name up there when they signed up. She put the name up there when she sent the sack and says pending, and then when they purchase, it's confirmed, because other people watching, they don't know what the pending means. Like they have no idea, right? And it creates that like that FOMO. So love that. So 10, 20 slots, whatever you have, and then make sure that you're screenshotting value that you're adding into your fitness groups for your stories. So she tries to go live 1 or 2 times a week in her group, and then so one of them, she will, I think 1 a week is good. So if you're going live twice a week, you can share 1 live. So she takes a screenshot of the live, and then she shares it in her stories and say, I just went live in my stories, telling them everything, you know, they need to know about nutrition. And then she said when she said she uploaded it, I'm pretty sure what she did, if you keep your video to 15 minutes or less, or you can even go in and slide it out and edit it a little bit in your photos in an iPhone to under 15 minutes. Then what she did was she went live in her group, kept it under 15 minutes, value on nutrition, took a screenshot of that live in her group, added that to her stories, and said, I just went live in my group for my challengers with nutrition tips today. Go check out the IGTV for a bonus for you, right? So it reminds the challengers in the group, oh, there's a live in there. And then it also offers the value on your page, because it's really good to have IGTVs on your page with value. And anytime you're doing a video of value, if it's under 15 minutes, save it and then upload it to IGTV. So it's the same content, but you're putting it on multiple platforms and working smarter, not harder. But then also in your stories, direct them to where you're going. So another like value in the stories. So if people are getting results, if people are sharing fun recipes, take screenshots of that stuff or screen record in your group. So if you have an iPhone, I know it's the top right corner, just pulled down, and there's like it almost looks like a target bullseye. Click that, it'll go 3, 2, 1, and then it starts screen recording. You slide it down again to finish it, and then you can edit it in your photos, but then you can screen record and you can scroll through your challenge group. Share some of the value, but talk about how you're getting these people results. Talk about how you're helping these people, how they're feeling, how they're overcoming things in a pandemic in your stories, because then people know. They know what they're getting into. They know that it's going to work. They know that it's going to help them. And there are less objections. The more that people believe things are going to work for them, the less objections they have. She sends out meal plans every Friday. So if you send out things like that, like she'll take a boomerang video of like the meal plans that are going out or all the names that are getting the meal plans or whatever. So if you're sending out value, just document that and share that in your stories. You don't have to share the value per se, but share the fact that you're sharing value in that group so that they know that these groups are worth getting into, right? So you have to share, you have to share more. If people aren't coming to you, one, you may be a very new coach, but I would say share more. Because I do have a lot of people. I've hit Success Club. I just locked it in yesterday. So 52 months of Success Club. And that is through broken neck and babies and depression and all of the things that life has thrown at us in the last, 4+ years. But it's because I'm consistent about sharing what I'm going through and what works for me through all of these things. And I always have people coming to me at least every month. I have at least a few people who just message me saying they want to try this or they're ready or they want to join me. And so I still do inviting, but I could do less inviting because I'm doing more public inviting, if that makes sense. Okay, so the weekly share check-in, you can share like how many people are checking in and how they're checking in. And if you on the picture, if you highlight and blur, you can even blur out names and just share the number of people and circle that and share that into your group. And so that's big on the fitness. Just make sure that you're sharing results and what kind of value and that you're adding value and that other people are getting value from your groups too. If you get messages from your challengers thanking you or saying that they are feeling so much better, screenshot, black out the name, throw it on your stories, right? Like share all of the things that make you smile about this business. You need to be sharing them. You need to be sharing them with other people, right? You don't have to share all the names and all that kind of stuff, but you need to share the stuff that's bringing you joy right now because people need the joy now and always. The coaching aspect. So she shares her morning Zoom link. And I think that, I don't know if she shares the actual morning Zoom link that anyone can jump on from 4 to 8 a.m. I think she does. And then she shares the screenshots and things and talks about the community and the accountability. She actually puts her team call graphic into her stories and then tags her team. And so whatever the graphic is for the team call that week, she'll put it into her stories. And if it's her, then she'll be like, I'm super excited to like speak life into my girls about blah, 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 blah this week. Or, if it's not you and it's someone else in the team call, then you share that and be like, can't wait to see my tribe tonight. And you tag all your team members and be like, and learn from April or Casey. And so she said that one, it's a nice reminder for her coaches to get on team calls. And two, it's just another way to create FOMO, especially right now. This virtual community is life because people are really realizing how much a virtual community can pull you out of the depths. And we already have one that is strong. So don't hide that. Make sure that you're accenting that in all ways. She shares rank advancements in stories, shouts outs in stories, both coaches and clients. And then if she's running any like training groups, she will talk about those a lot in her stories. Like, all right, so I'm putting together content for the top leader group that I'm running next week. It's really important for me to pour into my leaders and share all of the things that have made me successful with them to advance their business to where I am or beyond. And we're all constantly learning and growing. Like, done. End of story. Like, so I have started just in the last, I think I watched this yesterday. So just in the last 2 days, I've started implementing this in my stories. Like today, big time, before I went on the Diamond Mastermind, or there was even something else. I just the quick hands-free, like where I would normally like make my mocktail and just like shoot the shit with them. Now I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I mean, I'm still me, plenty of time in my stories, not all business, but I needed to talk about the business more, and I really like this because I'm really a like no bullshit kind of person. And I want working coaches. I want coaches who are like, oh, that's what she does. So every day at nap time, this is what she does. On the weekends, one night or 1 hour a weekend, she does this or whatever. Like, I want them doing the things. I want them seeing me doing the things from the get-go. So I hope this was helpful. Feel free to tag your success partners. If you have anything to add, please do. But yes, share all the check-ins, share all the goodness that is going on right now. I'm gonna maybe make a graphic or maybe just make a post about it. I had like 6 challengers do workouts this week for the first time in like a month. And I'm gonna shout that out because who else hasn't worked out in a month out there? And talk about how great they're feeling already. Like on day 2, she's like, I can't believe how much better I feel already. I'm like, right? So bam, screenshot, throw it up in the stories. This is one of 6 who got back on the wagon this week and she already feels better. I don't just share this stuff with you because, and I say this on my page, like I don't share this stuff with you just to sell you a shake or get you started on workouts. I share this stuff with you because it changed my life, because it saved my life, and because it continues to enrich my life day after day. So fall in love with what we do and then share it specifically on your page. So much love to you guys. Happy Friday. Hope this was helpful. See you soon.